think that's fair. I mean, some people you have podcasters and then audiobook people, which is crazy because like in the past, like I remember being in my 20s, like early 20s, and I would do road trips and everything, and it would just be music the whole time. I spent so much time driving, and I'm like, how did I ever survive without podcasts?
So you prefer podcasts over audiobooks?
No, well, I'll do audiobooks too. I just, I got really into like Audible for a while, probably like a couple years, and was like crushing a book like a week or something. And then I just kind of got back to the podcast stuff just because it's more eclectic.
Do you have Spotify?
I don't.
Because Spotify's doing books. You know that?
I didn't know that.
So it's amazing because I will listen to a book, and then this is like what I do all the time. I'll listen to a book for like, I don't know how long, but I'll get like 10% of the way through it, and then I'll just jump to the next book. And then if I get bored, I'll go back to that book. And so I'm listening to like 6 books at the same time. And it kind of feels like a podcast.
Yeah.
Because I'm like not doing these, I'm not like binge listening to the like one book.
Right.
It's like I keep jumping back and forth. But sometimes books get a little boring, so then I switch it up with podcasts.
Do you find that you can keep up with all the different books? Because that's like, excuse me, I tried that with Audible, where I have like a little bit of each book, and then I just never go back because I'm like, I don't remember where I was, or I was thinking of this or that. Like,
I think actually, yeah, I've been doing. I don't know why. If the book's interesting, then I'm good. If it's not interesting, I'm out really fast. Mm-hmm. And that's what's cool about Spotify is I can like listen to it, and then I think Audible, it was like you had to pay like a credit or something. Or,
right.
Yeah, Spotify, like I'll listen to the book, and I might get 30 minutes into it. You know, if I'm in like a deep, like I want to like kind of nerd out about something or like theological or historical or something like that.
Can I pause you real fast? Welcome to Unsought Opinions. This is Steven with Jason jumping back in with us. So we appreciate you being here and hopping into our Unsought Opinions. Keep going.
Great. It's great to be here.
No.
And
go back
all
to
the Unsoughties.
Yeah.
Hello, all the Unsoughties. That's what they're called?
That's what they're called.
Okay, cool. That's what they call themselves. Where were we? Books, Audible.
So you were saying there's a lot of different things that you can go.
Yeah, well, I've been like really into history.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, now I want to be theological, or now I want history again.
Right. Mainly just those two.
Leadership books too. I do a lot of those, but I don't know. It sounds like I do a lot. I'm like 1 book a month, so that's not really that much.
Okay. That's cool. What kind of history are you into right now?
Have you read Killing Jesus?
Yes.
It was such a good book, right?
It was, I think so. It's been over like 2 years probably since I've read it.
Same here.
But that's Bill O'Reilly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, they just make good books. So then I did Killing Lincoln. Have you done that one?
I've not.
It'll blow your mind. Oh, well. I mean, it's a really, really, yeah, that's rough.
We have one here. I don't know. There it is.
Are you serious? Oh my goodness. Now it's a podcast.
There it is.
It is a very good book.
Really?
Yeah, no, the history and all that stuff is so interesting. I couldn't stop talking about it for like a month or two, and it just like it's just awkward because it's like the amount of times I want to like bring up the Civil War in like regular day conversation. Like that's not normal.
Yeah, dude.
And I was doing that. Like I was doing that a lot. Like you'd bring up the Commanders this week. It was like, oh, dude, like, did you know this happened in Richmond during this? Like all these houses burned down. It's just like, anyway, it's kind of embarrassing.
That's why it's helpful to have a podcast because you can just be the fountain of information for everyone else, and that you seem like you're really smart, but it's just what you're getting into the day to day. So I love that. That's like I said, I get into weird wormholes and rabbit trails and stuff all the time, and then find stuff out, and then want to share it with people. And so I just talk into a void, and it's great.
Yeah. So how's the podcast? Like, are you guys? What's the typical? I mean, you just hanging out, having fun. It's doing well.
Yeah, dude, we hit a lull. We don't have any no. Gonna be real. Yeah, so we've been crushing it. It's mainly been Ben and I. We got Weston as our producer now. He's our Jamie. He's been helping out a lot. And Dan hopped on last week again. He's busy doing work stuff. So it's a revolving cast of people, and we're just we're just getting by to get
What's
by.
the sweet spot? Having 2 people, 3 people on the podcast? Like, is
2 people's good because you don't have a lot of like people talking over each other or not, but it's always smoother to have a third person because you don't have the lulls. You know what I mean? Like if we were good at podcasting, we kind of have more of a script rather than like all the blank voids and stuff. But like having Dan back is great because Dan's so goofy that he always adds stuff whenever we need a laugh or whatever. So and then again, I have to throw Luke some kind of a bone. Having 4 people is great too, but there's a lot of crosstalk with 4 people. So good riddance.
Yeah, there's like this kind of funny thing. It's like having a conversation, but you have to be like a little bit entertaining. Like I think Rogan is like he's having a conversation, but he's thinking about like what the listeners are.
Yeah.
So
He's the
we got
Godfather.
so there's a lot of pressure. I feel like right now is to make this entertaining.
You don't have to worry about anything.
All right,
That's
great.
You just let me take you on a. Oh gosh.
Or just don't post the episode.
Or we'll just not post
you
the
know?
episode and then have to record again this week. So we'll figure it
Cool.
out.
That's perfect.
But
Great.
yeah. So you your wife has made homemade Pop-Tarts,
Yes.
which is something that every wife usually does.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
I've
That's right.
I can't tell you how many
As a wife does.
as a wife does.
Makes Pop-Tarts.
And so you handed me one. It wasn't toasted, but it was microwaved, so I'll take what I can get.
Well, we were in a hurry a little bit.
Yeah.
And honestly, we haven't tried it yet.
Wait, you guys have
no,
not tried
we
it?
tried it, but we haven't tried it like toasted. We haven't used a toaster or anything.
So you've only tried cold.
No, so she just made them, took them out of the oven. So I
Okay.
think they're already toasted. So now we're just warming it
I
up.
got
But like
you.
you'd kind of be re-toasting it. I don't know.
Yeah, that just and they are homemade, so I don't know how well they would do in a toaster as like the structural integrity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Maybe it'd be great, but I'm gonna try it. But it's stuck to.
Okay,
the-
well, let me talk about it for a
Talk
second.
about it while
so,
I get this.
yeah, I see that. It is so we're really into milling, and by we, I mean she is, and I know almost nothing, is milling our own bread.
No, she mills from like
Like
From
old
grain.
school, you can buy the grain on Amazon. It's
Okay.
actually cheaper. And then we just connect it to that, oh man, what's that thing called? This is where I'm bad at podcasts.
Oh, your KitchenAid
dude.
thing?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
KitchenAid. Okay, so she connects it to the KitchenAid, and then she just will mill the grain from there, and it's like crazy how much healthier it is for you.
I was gonna say. So is there no gluten in it?
Dude, it's so I don't know. I'm not a scientist. No, but I listened to a podcast
Yeah.
and this lady sold me on it. And again, Brittany jumped right in.
Let me tell you something. I have been wanting to grow my own wheat field in my yard. Like,
I said, go for
dude,
it.
I think I don't know how you do it. I don't know how much wheat you need. Anytime I see a wheat
feel like a
field,
lot.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get like.
So we
half
go
a loaf.
through 5 pounds pretty fast.
You do.
Yes. But dude, if you look into it, it's crazy healthy for you. It's like it's
And you're saying it's cheaper than regular bread.
one of the best things that you can do, I think, for your diet is just switching out. Even if you're doing the sourdough, I don't mean to be talking to all the sourdough people.
My wife is
I know.
trying to dabble into sourdough.
Dude,
We're not
I
there
think
yet.
I think they're amazing. And I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm basing it strictly on one podcast episode I heard, and then how I feel after eating this like freshly milled bread.
Okay.
We're still doing the whole sourdough thing, but with freshly milled grain. So then it's delicious.
So does sourdough
It's more filling, and it's crazy good for you.
uses the regular grain that you have, or the grain that you're purchasing? You use that for sourdough?
So we use like don't ask me too many questions.
I don't know anything about
I
the bread.
don't know anything.
So we're just husbands of crunchy wives.
Yes. I'm into it, but I don't make it.
Yeah.
But no, so she uses like the sourdough starter, and this is hilarious. She's probably like upstairs listening and like wants to slap me or something. But I don't know what I'm talking about. But I know it's like way more healthy for you. It's way more filling. So just, dude, go ahead, have a bite. So she made
All right,
some.
I'm gonna try it.
She made a Pop-Tart, and to describe it for the listeners, it has it's got like some sort of it's got sprinkles on it, and I don't even actually know the flavor, but it's very sweet. That was a great description. Yeah, put it up to let the listeners hear you chew a little
It's
bit.
got a crunch. No. Dude, that's really good.
It is really
I'm not going to lie to you. I was ready to hate it and have content of hating it. No.
You don't have to lie, because I mean
gonna wash it
she could
down.
probably hear you right now, but just
She's a listener.
your
right?
honesty would be appreciated.
No, I really think. I mean, that was good. That was really good. And homemade Pop-Tart. That's crazy.
It's really good.
Great job.
I mean, honestly, like it takes forever.
I was gonna say, is it worth it? Like, cause I can get a Pop-Tart box for $1.25 at the dollar store.
Dude, don't. I mean, that stuff's just—it's not real food.
Dude, it's just poison for you.
It's literally like you're eating cardboard. It's really cheap, you know.
Right.
But
That's
it's
what
terrible for you.
I kind of live off of is just what's the cheapest food that I can get to keep me going. Which
I
is,
mean, I've lived that way my whole life until like last year.
yeah, until you have a wife that is awesome.
I think having the kids and like thinking about what they're eating was really when I got into it. But kind of all of America's getting into it.
Yeah,
With
that's
like
true.
Joe Rogan and all that. Like probably hearing some of those podcasts
Like Maha and stuff.
really opened up my eyes to all that stuff.
It's weird that there is like a cultural revolution happening with health. Like, I feel like soda is our generation's cigarettes.
It might be.
You know what I mean?
It might be.
Like nobody drinks sodas anymore. And then, or it's almost like you're a pariah if you drink sodas, which I still drink soda. I would like to not drink soda, but I still do. But if I'm like out with the guys and no one orders soda, I'm like, I'm the fatty that gets the soda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I think hey, listen, I'm not in a space where I'm going to judge because I've done it my entire life, but I have like this last year, I like really avoided a bunch of that stuff, and it's crazy how I feel like what I crave has changed quite a bit. But again, nobody ate more unhealthy than I did for over 30 years. And
we had a span of living together in our early 20s where the stack of Little Caesars pizza boxes reached the ceiling.
I actually think in that phase of my life, I ate a ton of eggs. I like wouldn't
did.
stop eating
There was
eggs.
a lot of eggs.
But it was like I was so bad at making food. It was like I think I ate eggs. This is so embarrassing. I think I would have eggs and like Cheerios for dinner. Like it was just because it was like easy. It was cheap,
yeah.
and it was like I thought it was good for you.
Dude,
I don't
not
know.
anymore.
Eggs.
Eggs is stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's why you guys have your own.
That's why we have our own.
Yeah.
Do you have a supply of
Do I have an
eggs?
egg person?
Yeah.
Aldi.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
You know, I think that they're not that expensive, to be honest. Like people, well,
I went
if you compare it to like other foods, it's still, you know, say I even eat a dozen eggs for breakfast, which would be crazy. It's only $4 for a meal, you know. But really, I'm only eating 4 or 5 eggs, which is a lot for most people. So it's
That's
only like,
so
it's
many.
only
You're
like-
eating 4 or 5 eggs
dude,
for
I crush
breakfast.
eggs, man. Yeah, we as a family we eat 10 every morning.
Good.
Dude, I know. So I
10
kinda
eggs
always
every
crushed eggs.
morning?
Yeah, dude, it's good protein. Wow, and it's like it's good for you.
That's so many eggs. That's so impressive. I can't do that. Do you scramble or
It's
you
just
fry
put
it?
some butter in it. It's delicious. Both. Like we'll mix it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your kids will eat eggs.
But my problem also has always been this that I can eat the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So like most people would be tired of it. But like, dude, I'll crush eggs. I love them.
That's great.
Yeah.
So much eggs. That is a really good. I've never thought of it that way though, because like you get 2 meals out of a carton of eggs. Like if I can feed my family for under $10, it's like a bargain.
Yeah. I mean, the prices have shot up, but overall, it's still really it's a cheap meal.
If you're viewing it as a meal
Yeah.
rather than like what it used to be, because it was 99 cents get you 12 eggs.
Right. Yeah. It's like your breakfast went from like $1.50 to $2. Like it's still a cheaper meal if you just do the eggs.
But if you do a lot of baking, it adds up.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't pay for eggs,
the-
but we also don't eat 10 eggs a day.
How many eggs do you guys get? This is a really exciting conversation.
Yeah, we get. We're right around like 6 a day, maybe 6 to 8 a day. The chickens were not laying this winter, and I almost had rotisserie for a couple nights because it was like, you're pointless. I'm just pouring all this money into feed and stuff.
Yeah.
You're not helping out.
Yeah.
We got way graphic last week about my meat rabbit industry that I'm trying to start.
That's awesome.
We got too into it. So if you're interested, I can share some.
Dude,
meat
I
rabbits
could. I have a meat industry that I would like to start.
Let me hear.
Yeah, I'll pitch this idea. It's illegal.
Pigeons?
So no, I'm
There's so
pitching
many
the
of them.
idea.
All
No,
right.
but this is illegal. And I know there's a million reasons why not to do it. But you know, like all the crazy stuff where they're like remaking these animals that went extinct. You know about that, right?
Mhm.
Like the wolf and all that.
You don't have to tell me.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you guys have talked about it. But like, with that technology, I'm like, dude, why are we not taking advantage of manatees? Sea cows, dude. They're sea cows.
Probably less methane.
It's illegal. But people used to eat it, and I think they said it tastes like beef.
A little watery, but dude,
There's something to it, right?
there's something to it.
Yeah.
I wonder, can they be in saltwater, or is it all only brackish? Because I know they're like Everglades stuff.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because if they can be in saltwater, dude, you just rope off a few miles of the ocean. You just have a breeding farm of sea cows.
You just have a little sea farm.
We need to write a congressman because this has legs, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it has potential because they're huge, dude. They're massive. But for some reason, and I don't know why, there's only like, I don't know. Jamie needs to fact check me. There's like 10,000 of them or something. So there's not enough.
They were endangered for a while.
No, I think they're still endangered.
Oh, are they?
And I don't know why. Maybe they just reproduce pretty slow. Like you were talking about, the rabbits reproduce so fast.
Yeah,
and manatees are like the opposite. And I guess they just don't reproduce fast enough. And I don't know what's killing them. I know they get hit by boats and stuff all the time. But dude, could you imagine? Was there ever a time where they treated manatees like cows? Like Native Americans or something?
Going out to the pasture.
Dude, I think they just sit there and eat the grass, like the seaweed, in the sea.
I wonder what the negative side effects to a large amount of manatees are.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to do some studies, figure it out. But I think there's potential.
I think that's a great idea.
Especially, am I right, with the whole, like, they're remaking the wolves. Like, why can't we just have something just pumping out manatee babies?
Right.
And make a little manatee farm. Sea cows.
I mean, yeah.
Sea beef.
Yeah, artificial insemination, you mean? Like, because
Yeah.
pandas obviously are not pulling their weight when we're trying to reintroduce pandas.
Right.
It's like rocket science for them. They are just too fat and lazy on bamboo to figure out that their race is dying.
Yes.
Their species. So if we can go in a lab and do it for them, for the manatees, we could just... they're not even real manatees. They're just science experiments that we can eat.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, isn't that a million times better than like the whole like, hey, instead of meat, we're gonna start eating crickets.
Right.
And like because they're worried about the methane. Which makes me wonder, I mean, the sea cows have to have the same like
Yeah, I don't know what
I
the
don't know.
biology is there. Because do they have 4 stomachs and like? Because their anatomy is not the same thing as a cow.
dude, they're essentially just cows in the water.
They're just fat lards. Why don't we just do tuna farms?
Dude, and then you think about
You know how big a tuna gets?
like God creating the world, like what was the point? I don't know. I mean, it's confusing, but like what was the point of a cow? It just feels like it's meant to be cattle in my mind. Like it might be crazy, but it just
What do
feels
you
like
mean?
it's meant to like support like humans. Like we have a relationship with them. Like we're supposed to have a cow on the farm, and then eventually it either gives us milk or we end up eating it. Like it just feels like it's not a very like how would a cow survive on its own? Like would it do very well out there? Like wouldn't something just hunt it?
Well, that's when you like look at the buffalo. It's the
And
same
I guess it
thing.
would turn into like I mean
You
they'd
have
be like
the herd
they'd be
that-
more of like a buffalo. Like we've really tamed them down.
Right.
But dude, are manatees like that? Like they just seem like softies. Don't they?
They're
They
not
just seem
herding
like-
up out there. You literally, they're just buoys that keep getting popped.
Dude, yeah,
That's
they're
wild.
like that's probably why they're dying off. Is because
Because they're just so dumb.
they're just like, yeah,
Wow.
yep. So that's my idea.
I want to look at the like environmental impact of like what is beneficial about a sea cow and what is detrimental if they were to overpopulate.
Well, it's just interesting that we've never considered like somebody had to eat them. It's like the buffalo. Well, I don't know. I don't. This is where I totally have no idea what I'm talking about. But like, why are they going extinct or why are they endangered? It's just so confusing. But could you imagine if they weren't endangered and then the potential of like sea cow farming would be dope. So
Yeah, but
There you
only if you're on the edges of the country.
mean, you can ship the
Which
meat
most people
wherever.
are.
Yeah. Of course, you can't have I mean, I guess you could
Like
have
you have
like
the whole
fake,
country that you can farm cattle, and then but
you have a whole ocean. Well, yeah.
that's what we got to figure that part out. But we'll
Yeah.
get there, dude.
We'll get
if
there.
we can figure
Weston,
this out,
fact check that for us, man.
appreciate you. Also, we have a fact check from a few weeks ago. Brandon and I had an argument about whether burgle was a real word, and Weston fact checked me incorrectly, saying it was not a real word. It is 100% a real word.
To burgle?
To burgle.
Yeah, dude. Of course, it's a word.
Thank you. That's what I said. You should have been there that week. They were saying it's burglarize, and I was saying no, burgle should be a word. And then Weston looked it up and said no, it's just a dish in Scandinavia or something.
Wait, so burgle? What does burgle mean?
In my opinion, or what
No,
he was
like,
saying,
like what does the actual word mean? Is it what
it
we
means
think it is?
to be burgled. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
I know that you can't define it with
That's
the word,
a
but
ridiculous fact check. I'm sorry that happened.
thank you. I really appreciate that. That's
Sure.
what, I had to wait till none of the guys were here so that I could get someone sympathetic. The reason that I called you and said, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast tonight?" Because you got a really cool story and a really cool foundation that you're working on and you've started, and I would like to get your story and your heart and everything about Hope Sleeves Ministry. And we used it. We talked about the website last week. I know you were listening, and so I hope that you're okay with it. Us just throwing it out there. But hopesleeves.com is the website, and where they can find you on the socials is hopesleeves.com. No, but tell us, like, what was the genesis? What was anything you want? Just take it away,
Dude, I didn't know you guys did that. That's really, really awesome. So I appreciate it.
Dude, listen to the episode before you thank us.
Okay,
'Cause
great.
one of us said I wouldn't share it if I was them, or I wouldn't be okay with you sharing it if I was them, or something like. Negative Ben was being negative about it. So
Okay, that's interesting. So to transition,
you can text him out.
Hope Sleeves. Okay, so I mean, it's kind of it's a long story about like I don't even know where to start with this.
Okay, so tell me
But I'll just-
about. You want me? Can I guide you, or do you want to do it?
I think I have an idea.
Okay, do
so, after college, I was trying to look for some exciting, adventurous trip, and I guess I'll tell kind of a long way of saying this, but how we got to where we are today. So, I wanted to take some long, adventurous trip, and then also like combine it with ministry. So we found some really cool like missions trips right after college, and they went from Zambia down to South Africa. So it went like across like 5 different countries within Africa. Some of them were like the most impoverished nations in the world. So we saw some like pretty wild, crazy stuff. And it was a really, really eye-opening experience for me. And then I was fortunate. So my first trip, I went over there for a month. And then after that, I was fortunate to go over like more in a leadership role, which, I didn't have a whole lot of money, but they helped like support that. So then I was able to go back several times as like in more of a leadership role so I could stay for like 2 months or whatever that might be. And we explored tons of places across that part of Africa and did some really, really cool ministry. We were just going around trying to encourage people, trying to like let people know who are like, I don't want to say they were like forgotten, but it is like, there's no money in it. There's nobody going to these places because it's first off very expensive to get there. And then they're just the most impoverished places, like really, really tough places. And unfortunately, like if there's no money there, people aren't really going to like come visit and it's like just not always beautiful. It's like dusty and just kind of really, really far out there to the point where there's like no, like several people had never even seen white people. So anyway, we went really far out there, and ever since then, just connecting with those people has been very much on my heart. And connecting with people who are just lacking like in just very impoverished. But what's crazy is they're very happy, and in many ways, they seem happier than we are over here in America, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so they've been very much on my heart. Do you want me to just keep going? I'll keep going.
What was the organization that you were with? You want to give them a shout out or anything? Or
Yeah, well, I was going through Launch Out Ministries, and they were run by a Zambian family, And so it was really cool because we just got to see like the local experience. We went through, like, these roads are crazy. It's not like the roads here in America. Like, it's like you need like a military style truck to get over some of this stuff. And so that's what we were able to do, is explore through going through some like crazy wild villages across, across these nations that were very hard to traverse. But it was going over them with this military truck with a local African family was like just such a cool experience.
So and just so I can understand, like, there's no Western church presence in these countries. Like, the only reason that you were there is because a Zambian family is broadcasting on the internet, hey, come and do a mission here? Or do they have connections with local churches? Like, how were you plugged in with them?
That's a good question. I think there are. They just made connections as they would keep. They've been doing it for a while, so we would kind of go and find a church to stay at and like do some ministry with them, and but different places. Like sometimes you'd come across a random like Baptist church, which is really cool. And then actually you saw a lot of Mormon churches there, which was very interesting, like out there, which was very, very interesting. But I mean, people are so receptive to the gospel out there. And many times, some communities were the opposite, but sometimes it was like very exciting. Some people were hearing about Jesus for the first time, which is just crazy. But yeah, so like, you know, the excitement, it really felt like the good news of the gospel sometimes was being like, it felt like it was like you could see the good news on their face as you're giving it to them. And that was a cool experience. But yeah, so sometimes it was very far out there, and we would just actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's a European tour that would kind of go. And they had these like little campsites that they would go, and if you wanted to tour across Africa, many times we would just end up camping at one of those spots, and then from there go out to like some villages that nobody really ends up going to. But yeah, since then it's been very much in my heart. So one thing we were trying to do early on with Hope Sleeves is support, really just trying to support families that were in need, and then support churches that were in need. And so Hope Sleeves has evolved quite a bit from the beginning, and with COVID happening, that threw off a lot of our ministry like kind of like as we were just getting started, threw off a lot of our ministry, and so we ended up connecting with a pastor and a bunch of churches over there, and just kind of like reaching out to them and seeing like, hey, what can we do to help you guys? Because now it's not easy for us to travel over there anymore.
So back up, and when you first started and why it was called Hope Sleeves, like what was the original blueprint of, like, what was your heart and what you wanted to do with it?
Yeah, so it was to work with like local churches in these impoverished communities, and then we were gonna support women who were going to, like, moms and just like families that were in need. We were gonna be supporting families in need. And they would be designing these like coffee sleeves. This is a whole thing, coffee sleeves. And then those coffee sleeves would show up at churches, and it was really cool. We did it for a little bit, where they would like draw on these coffee sleeves, and then draw like encouraging words or write verses in their language, and then they would translate it, and then it would be given to churches over in America. And the idea was like, hey, like, you know, oftentimes we're doing missions to go over into Africa, and it was like giving them an opportunity to do missions and send it back to America. So that was like kind of the thought. And
that's pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, then COVID happened, and then they had all these sort of rules where you couldn't send coffee sleeves, or couldn't like it was, dude, it was crazy, man. And then even like getting coffee sleeves over there without flying over there yourself ended up being very, very difficult. So we've evolved into the point, and it's been a blessing in a way, because we were not able to visit during COVID and all that. So then we reached out to them, and we're like, hey, what can we do to support you guys, even though like we're not able to come visit? And it turned into it's just turned into a ministry where like we support those churches and those pastors and those communities, in that they like run a VBS style camp for the kids over there. And so many people, like if you've gone on mission trips or whatever, like we'll go over there and we'll do a VBS style camp for that church, and like we'll like lead it and get the kids all excited, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's amazing. Of course, it's amazing, but you just don't want it to feel like, oh, the Americans are here to like, you know, make everything better. So like the idea is like to support churches over there to let them be able to run these camps themselves, and then within the community they'll be like, wow, these churches are like really like loving on our kids, and dude, it's blown up. It's like becoming, I mean, it's becoming famous in like that community.
Yeah.
These camps, and then just this ministry, and then so we'll train up like 30 teachers to run camps that have like 200 kids come out and stay. They have to stay the night there because nobody can drive. Like the families aren't driving. They have to walk several miles to get there. So then they'll stay the night for 3 or 4 nights, and then just do this awesome camp. That's like once in a lifetime experience. In that these kids, like, they just wouldn't have an opportunity quite like something like this. And it's just really exciting. It's meant to encourage, educate. We share a lot of school supplies, and of course we share the good news of the gospel.
So forgive my ignorance, because like I've never been to Africa. We've talked about going a couple times, but like when you say a VBS style thing, like what are they in like mud hut stuff and not used to electricity? Like we've kind of talked a little bit where like they have phones and phone chargers and stuff like that. Like is there a grid? Like are they getting sound amplified at the VBS? Like boots on the ground, like how is the VBS different? You're saying once in a lifetime opportunity kind of thing.
Dude, you are nailing it. These are good questions. So I'm glad you're asking. It's like what has convicted me in the past is, especially when you would go over and stay for 2 months, and then you go to a church, and you're like expecting it to be a church building, but it's really just a group of people that meet under a tree. And then it's like they can't even meet in the rainy season. So it's like,
dang.
Yeah. And then you wouldn't believe how many churches meet that in the church building is not finished. So it's like there might be half the roof that's not even there. And it rains a lot there, and it's like half the roof's not even there. But that's like, it's kind of normal. It's kind of almost expected. So you see that quite a bit. So at a VBS, like we'll sponsor, I think sometimes they'll bring their own speakers. But like if you think about it, when I was the last time I was there, the power was only on for 6 hours a day. It was like the government has.
Is it generators, or are they on a grid for the national grid?
It's not generators.
Okay.
So it would be the power's only on for 6 hours a day. So like if you think about it, it's like, shoot, I need to charge my phone right now. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to. And they don't know when it's going to be on.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So
okay. So it's not like 6 to 12. We got power on every day. It's like
it seems pretty unorganized. Yeah. And I don't know if someone just like flips a switch,
right.
But it's like when I was there, it's like the power's on. It's like people like scatter and they're like, oh, let's go charge stuff, or
wow.
It's a whole thing. Yeah. And then sometimes I think the power wouldn't even come on, and there's not a whole lot of communication.
Yeah.
It's not like, Monday there's no power. So
I was working in Costa Rica, and one of the people came in to talk to the Christian school I was at, and they were trying to raise money. I think it was that. It might have been something else, but it was like they were raising money for like these solar chargers for phones in Africa. I'm assuming around the same type of area or the same situation kind of deal. And so that was like, I was like, do they have phones that they would need a solar charger on? Am I being like a bigoted white American idiot? Like, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, it seems like the entire world has phones, but like I just don't know. And so like, do they have phones, I guess?
Yeah. I actually was surprised by that too. So it does seem like it's kind of random. I mean, the amount of times you would see a flat screen TV in a hut was pretty mind blowing. Yeah,
okay.
It would be like a mud hut. Like it's like,
and they're watching.
You should have no business with this plasma TV screen. But yeah, and I think sometimes the government will just like randomly, from what I was told, it's like they'll try to fix the problem by sending like $200 to a family.
Okay.
And it's like maybe that's when they end up like that family was like, oh, let's buy a TV. But yeah, I think they have access to phones, but there's still,
So it's a little bit modern, but it's very impoverished. Modern.
I think there's some phones are very, very cheap.
Yeah,
and then obviously service is always brutal. Like whenever I'm calling them, it's brutal.
Okay.
And then power's always out, and let me think. So it is like modern in a sense, but it's also not at all.
Yeah.
Like it's out there. Like an example, and this is kind of a weird example, but it's just like shows you how we're different. Is like when there's a funeral over there, it's like they have the funeral for the like if someone passes away, like the funeral, it seems like it's like the next day because they don't do like the whole embalming practice. It's like, and then, it's just pretty different. And then, like when you walk around the town and the it's not like a town. There's also like the roads will get flooded and stuff. There's just not a lot of driving. It's a lot more walking. And everybody's like crazy skinny probably because but you still like when I'm there I eat a good amount of food. Mm-hmm. But so I think there's still I mean it's a bunch of
paved roads or dirt roads?
If it's paved, it's like brutal. It's like potholes. I'm not even like this is not an exaggeration. The potholes are 3 feet deep, like, and they're all over. It looks like a battle just happened. But and it's like if we ever go, it's like a 2-hour drive of that. It's like every 30 feet there's a 3-foot pothole you just have to avoid. So you can't drive fast. But that's the paved part, and then the other parts like bridges get washed out every rainy season, and then. Once you get off that one road, it's all dirt roads. Okay. Which is why you need that like a military.
So there's the main road that's paved but tough, and then it's dirt roads. All the side roads and everything are dirt.
Yep.
Okay. And then talk to me about the ministry. Like, what have you guys? You're doing you're trying to do 2 camps a year, 1 camp a year. Where are we at with that?
Well, this year the plan so far is just doing 1 camp, and we're doing it in July. So we're still. Trusting God that He's going to provide for that. But yeah, there's a whole lot of excitement that's going into it. So we're connecting with I think it's 16 schools now, but for this camp it's going to be 10 schools. So we went to visit. I mean, by we I mean like the team over there went to go visit those schools, and this is why it's a little hard to tell the story being so far away.
Yeah.
But like seeing pictures and like seeing what's going on over there, there's a lot of momentum. And so these 10 schools we just went to visit this last week. I keep saying we, I mean the team over there. But the smallest number of students, so they'll like go visit these Bible clubs that through Hope Sleeves, these Bible clubs have started, and it's much through like the camps. Like it'll start at a camp, and then those kids go back, and it's like they start a Bible club at their public school. So think of it as like an FCA here, if you ever went to an FCA, or just like a Christian club at a school. Like, and so that they're starting through Hope Sleeps, but so they went to go visit these 10. The smallest club had 36 kids in it. It's cool. So the smallest club had 36 kids, and then the biggest club had 85. So like people love it.
And is that the camp is encouraging them when you go back do this, or is it happening? Kids are saying, "I want to keep this going. Let's keep it going," kind of thing.
Yeah. So the camps we have, teachers come from the schools, so the teachers are all excited too. They get they're really. It's just there's not other ministries in this area doing like there's nothing like it in this area, so it's very exciting. So teachers want to be involved. And I think they call them like the headmasters, which are principals. Even the principals come out. But we have 2 teachers from each school who come and support this camp. And then those teachers go back and they start, we train them to do Bible clubs at their schools. So I think, it's definitely the numbers growing, but within those 16 Bible clubs, there's over 400 kids that are meeting weekly to do like Bible studies at the church, at the schools. And then also we give them like education supplies, and we do school stuff, uplift them, encourage them. Sometimes we'll give uniforms if they need them. It's kind of funny, the schools sometimes need uniforms out there. So we uplift them and all of that stuff. But there are it's funny. So I probably have done a poor job of explaining how we got to this point, but we really just were like letting the pastors over there pray about the direction of where to go with this ministry, and it's just turned into like this thing is it's been blowing up over there really, really fast by doing these camps and like loving on these kids in need, and then these Bible clubs at school. It's just blown up, and we've tried so many other things over there, and then this is the one that's really just caught fire.
So couple of questions. One, like, what is the leading religion there right now? And are they're obviously receptive to Christianity, but is there like, what are other people like? Is there animosity towards that or anything like that you guys have faced?
Yeah, so I think that I think it's called animists, or like there's like a real worship of like animals over there.
Okay.
And I might be getting it mixed up with like either Zambia or other countries.
You've been to a lot of different
This
countries
is
there,
literally
yeah.
just my experience.
Yeah.
So like if you Google it, it might say other things.
Mhm.
But there were a lot of like animist type stuff there. And then there is, there's people who will profess Jesus, but then they'll also at the same time be Mormon, and then they'll also worship animals, and they'll also go to witch doctors. So they kind of like are everything.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and so they're just like searching for truth and just trying to like receive whatever God will get them into heaven. And so they'll like, open to many things. But you do run into tons of people who have never heard about Jesus, which is, I don't know how often that happens in America, which, is awesome, but it happens very often over there.
Yeah.
And then in this particular area, they're very like wanting to know more about Jesus. And I think, the churches are so excited to like partner with us, and it's just a really good opportunity for us to work with them.
That's really cool. It reminds me of, was it John 4:35, where he says the harvest is ready, but the workers are few. Where like you're saying, it's so ripe for the mission, but there's just like no one goes out to reach it. You know what I mean? The cool thing that I love about this ministry is just how A to B contact it is. Like you're literally talking. How many people do you have on staff?
I mean, there's like 3 people over there, but there's really just one main person, and then just like some assistants.
So you're not like a.
But what's
Sorry, keep going.
well, there's no staff in America. It's all volunteer. I guess that could be staff. But no, we're very, very small, and which means like the A to B, like you're mentioning, is like it pretty much just goes, whatever people are giving, it really goes to support like the cause.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it can get caught up in, very well-meaning ministries can get caught up with a lot of overhead.
Right.
And like we've
Right.
been fortunate just because we're connected like directly to those ministries. And then what's cool is just getting like when we give, oh man, this was funny. So one time I was at a church and they were talking about we were going to be giving to them, right? And there are many churches over there. Like you'll run into like a Baptist church or the Methodist church. I remember one time running it, and I'm not even going to name a church. Like I don't know what church it was, but
Yeah, sure.
it was like you thought that they would be given something, but it was like let's just say it was a Baptist church, but it was like a Baptist church, and it wasn't being given anything, and it was just like a hut, but it like on the outside it said, it's a Baptist church,
Mm-hmm.
and so I asked about it, and I was asking them about like where the money goes, and just unfortunately at some point, oftentimes money just kind of like disappears.
Yeah.
You
You have
know?
to pay enough people along the way that by the time it gets to where it's supposed to go, it's just not.
Yeah.
necessarily-
So I was at a church, and then we were talking about, hey, when we're giving, and it was a pastor I was working with was preaching this or saying it, but he was like, and he was saying in their language, so I didn't really know what was happening, but he was just talking, and all of a sudden the crowd just like erupted, and they were like all celebrating. It was just so funny, and it was like he was just saying that like, hey, when we give, we're gonna take like before and after pictures and like prove that the money went where it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And they were so excited about it. So that's what we do a lot of, that's what we end up doing a lot of. Like the before and after pictures mean quite a bit. And dude, what's been encouraging is seeing how crazy the government stuff's been with like all their random, like the Doge taken out or like highlighting the nonprofits.
Yeah.
That like, where does the money go?
Right.
Like I used to freak out and be like, dude, I need every little detail,
Right,
which is
right.
really good to have. But then you find out these places get like $5 billion, and it's
Right.
like, well, yeah, I went to some green initiative or something.
Right.
And but yeah, so
So
those-
nobody's keeping books very well, like, or checking books, I should say, like, and so I was gonna say, so if you don't have boots on the ground from your like Americans over there. Like, how do you keep accountability? But you were just saying that they document everything and are excited to do so. Right?
Yeah, we're that's I mean maybe that's something that separates us too, is just documenting before and after, and just trying to make sure that like where the money's going is that it's making the impact that we're intending it to have. Otherwise, it might get lost somewhere. Yeah,
it's so cool. I love that. My church has given, and then we get back like they like made us a drapery type deal, or like a cloth, and it was like, thank you so much, and we got pictures and stuff that happened. It was like the coolest, most touching thing. Like we're giving because we have abundance, and like we talked about the heart of it and how a dollar there goes so much farther than here. And I'm not trying to make this into like a SPCA commercial of like give to this organization. I love it, and I would like to get the story on the podcast. And so Jason was cool enough to meet me and allow that to share the story in the heart. So I appreciate you doing that. What else you got going
on? Yeah, man. Well, no, what was on my mind a second ago?
Yeah, I didn't mean to just wrap you up. Keep going.
Yeah, dude,
You're
you wrapped
great.
me up, man.
I know. I
was
closed
just
it out.
Getting some momentum.
We're only at 45
but I guess it's
minutes.
time to move on.
No.
My goodness. Yeah. Man, change the subject, right? Where do we go?
Okay, keep going. What else? What's the? Tell me about the slapping monkey.
Dude, you remember that?
Dude, it caused impact in my heart.
I'm so excited that you're asking about this because I never get to talk about it because like you can't just bring it up.
The slapping monkey thing?
Yeah, you can't just bring it up to somebody.
Can't.
Yeah, because if I sound like a fool.
You just go up to someone and be like, let me tell you a story.
So there's only like a few people that would ever ask me about it. So it means a lot, dude.
Dude, yeah.
That, I get to share this.
Well, I'm touched that you would share it with us.
And I have not talked about it in like many years. So let's go for it. The slapping monkey. I think that's a little bit of a confusing way to put it, but I know what you're talking about. So it was a baboon.
Oh, no, I thought there was maybe it was your brother in Ghana.
Oh, yeah, dude. He got slapped.
Yeah.
I think he got slapped. But that's like a thing. Yeah.
The monkeys will run up and slap you if you're afraid or something?
Well, you know about my baboon story.
No, I wanted to get into that as well. This was leading us into it.
Oh, man.
So,
all right. Well, I'm going to tell my baboon story.
Little monkey slaps you. All right. Now tell me about this insane
it's not
story.
Insane. It's not.
Are you
insane.
kidding me? This
It's
story's
really
insane, dude.
I don't think it is that insane, but I mean, it's like something that happened.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's whatever. We're hyping it up
Stop
too much.
beating
Everybody's
around
gonna
the
be
bush, man.
everybody's gonna be disappointed. So so anyway, there's this baboon. Okay, baboons are kind of like running around over in some places in Africa, and they're like really intimidating. Like they're just big and like pretty scary.
Do they get near you, or is it like do they view it how we would view like a mountain lion, or do they view it how we would view like a deer in a national park that gets close? Like,
I don't think either of those.
do they have close proximity to them, or
they're like,
I guess how we would deal with a crocodile or alligator in Florida?
No, dude, none of these work.
None of them.
None of them work.
All right.
They're like civilized. Like they literally will walk the sidewalk, and they'll just like they will walk, and nobody cares. Like people are just you try to avoid them because they're dangerous. And I mean, it's not like a regular monkey. Like they're strong. And if they wanted to attack, it'd be really bad.
So in a town, you have baboons just walking amongst the people.
It looks like they're just walking to work. They're just walking around. And so what they'll do, and this is totally true, is they'll go out, like they won't like go after a lady to attack her or anything, but they know a guy would like fight back more. So they'll like single out the women and come and just grab their lunchbox. And like confidently, slowly and like, this is mine now. They'll just grab it and walk away. And it's wild, dude. Because they're just searching for food, and they know like we're kind of wimpy.
Do they like go crazy like the Disney Tarzan movie with all the baboons like in the trees that are like snapping at people and like vicious?
From what I remember, no, I mean like.
No, they just go up and
they were just chill.
They're bullies.
Dude. They kind of just walk a little slow, and then they're like, they know that they run the place in a way, and they're very, very confident.
How tall are they? Are they walking on
Dude,
4 legs, or are they
They're hunched over. They're just thick.
waist high,
They're
or
thick and just like they're just so ugly, and they're like you just wouldn't want to be attacked by it.
I feel like you're on an alien planet, dude. This is I didn't realize.
Google
this.
a baboon, man. They're
No, I know what a baboon looks like. I'm just saying, like, in the 15 years of our friendship, I never knew they walked down the streets.
I mean,
among the people,
it's not like you go to Africa and they're just always going to be doing that. It's only certain places.
Well, for sure, but any place is too many places.
Dude, so yeah, they're intimidating looking. They just got some mean faces, and
but they're not ripping people's face off
and this freaking weird booty. So I would like to fact check that. I remember there were some stories like 911. Some lady called 911 because a baboon ripped her friend's face off. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I thought it was a chimpanzee, but
it might have been. Yeah, I don't know. But I remember just being over there and having that very much in my mind.
Right.
But let me tell my story I never get to tell.
Please tell it.
So I was like pretty sick. It was one of the few times I was very sick over there. And I was laying down in the back of that truck I was talking about. And I was the only one back there. And I'm just laying down in the back of this truck sleeping. And then we're driving like 10 miles an hour or something. And it's like this canvas truck. And I see this arm just kind of like, or I wake up to this arm like opening up the canvas. And then, you know, I'm just waking up. Like, I don't know that that's a baboon right away. And this baboon just climbs into the truck. And, yeah, that's a picture. Anyway, yeah, so this baboon climbs into the truck. And it's like, it just starts going through all of our stuff. Like, it's like opening up. Dude, they're just so funny. They, you know, almost like appears like a human just going through our bags, trying to like open up our backpacks and all that. And it's just coming up on me, and it does not care about me at all. And I'm waking up, and I'm kind of an idiot at the time. And I don't know if it's a brave thing or it was a very stupid thing, but I grabbed this like water jug and I just start punching. I start punching it in the face. Which, dude, when you think about it, it's like that is the dumbest thing you could do. But I just woke up, and I don't think I would do that. Like with a,
it's like a normal. Yeah.
But I was sick, and I just woke up, and I started punching this baboon, and like he like took steps back, and it was just this like really weird like experience. But I mean, several times just punching, and I just punched the thing like out of the truck, and then it climbed up on top of the truck, and it was just kind of this like weird moment. Like, did that just happen?
Was like, anyone in the car with you?
It was one moment. I'm sleeping, everything's fine, and literally 5 seconds later, I'm punching a baboon with this like big old water jug, just like socking it over and over.
Are you
again.
sure it was not a dream?
Yeah, I know. That's literally as we talk about it, I'm like, that sounds like I was hallucinating. No, dude,
I was really sick.
It really, really happened. Yeah, it was a weird experience.
That's
so
crazy.
Anyway, it's just one of those things you live with. Like, I punched the baboon.
Yeah.
And I never get to talk about it.
You never get to talk. Cause like, yeah,
it's not that cool. It's not cool, but it's like, it's something that like, you know, it's something that happened, and I never ever get a chance to discuss.
Dude, I'm gonna be your hype man. That's pretty cool.
Thanks, man.
You punched a baboon.
Yeah, well, it was with a water bottle.
Don't say that. Just tell people you punched
Dude,
a baboon.
but you punch a baboon in the face. I think they have mean teeth, man. So it'd be...
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember as I was doing it, I was thinking about the lady getting her face ripped off. And I was just like, it was like a surreal moment where I feel like maybe I'm outside the body for a second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my face is going to get ripped off. And, you know, fact check me, it was probably a chimpanzee that did that, but that's what was going through my mind.
Yeah, dude.
And it was just funny, man.
I mean, I thought, like, we need Weston here to Google how many people die a year by baboons.
I don't know, but dude, if you find a picture of them opening up their mouth, like, dude, they're just mean looking, and they're not your average like little monkey that would like slap my brother. I'm pretty sure that happened. He got slapped.
Yeah,
but monkeys are, they're almost more like squirrels over there. And like this type, I don't know monkeys, but the ones that were around there, they were like the monkeys that felt more like squirrels that were always stealing your food, and then there were the baboons who were like the big dogs who were. Just pretty intimidating.
Apparently, it's rare that they attack humans. So that's really crazy. Very few recorded instances of baboons killing humans.
Dude, I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either.
If they're walking around the town,
baboons are...
Dude, because they're kind of like afraid of them. Or, yeah, I mean, it's like they have a respect for them.
Do they have dogs there?
Yeah, yeah. And then dogs do the same thing. Like dogs will walk the streets. Like,
Well,
it's
like-
not like America.
Yeah, so they don't do like pet dogs. Like I'm gonna go take my dog for a walk on a leash kind of thing.
I mean, I'm sure people do it.
that's
but
very
no.
similar to Latin America as well.
Yeah, I
the
think-
dogs just have free reign.
Right.
I was gonna say, I wonder if like, because I know, oh shoot, what was it? Was it bears? No. It was wolves. Like, there's never been a wolf attack a human in North America unless they had a dog.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Or then a wolf has never killed a human in North America unless they had a dog with them or something. So I was wondering if someone's like walking a dog, if the baboon just starts like going crazy. Because
That's crazy.
yeah, I don't know. That's fascinating. Do you have any other crazy stories of like bungee jumping or swimming when you shouldn't have been?
Well, no. So after the baboon attacked. Gosh, I attacked it. I guess it was.
He's just trying to
It
get some
ended up
lunch.
being probably a nice baboon, but
What did he do after he was on the roof?
I think eventually dropped off.
Oh, okay.
But I remember like locals like shouting. They probably thought it was so funny.
Dude, the only white guy they've ever seen. Like,
No,
punching
this
him
is
out.
like more of a tourist area.
Yeah.
You know, it was, yeah, hindsight, probably very embarrassing. But, you know, it happened. Again, I never get to talk about like that incident. It's meaningful. But right after that, like an hour after that, it was a tourist area. So that's where I got to like do I paid for bungee jumping. And of course, it was the only time I was like crazy sick. And I was like, but you got to do bungee
Right.
jumping.
You've already
So
paid for it.
Yeah, dude, it was just funny because I went back another time and I wasn't bungee jumping. And I was like, dude, this is kind of crazy. But in the moment, I think maybe again, because all that, my adrenaline's pumping, I wasn't even nervous about it. But I remember when I was bungee jumping that they like strapped you up and it just didn't, it's not America. Like America, like, you know, how there's too many rules in America and
Right.
it's so annoying and like, dude, just whatever. You don't care about that when you're bungee jumping. You're like, dude, the more rules,
Right.
like I want all of that stuff, right? Like safeguards, just, you know, everything.
Yeah.
I don't remember being weighed or anything, and I think you have to be weighed when you're bungee jumping, but they like tied you up. It all happened so fast, and then you just jump and you go, and it's like the third highest bungee jump in the world or something. And then it was, I don't know, I think a year later, like somebody snapped. You probably seen that video?
I think we had talked about
That
it, yeah.
lady snapped, and then there's like crocodiles down there and stuff, but she lived. I don't know how.
That's unbelievable to me. That's crazy.
But it was funny because I remember thinking it was a pretty
So
just
that
different.
famous video was from the same
Yeah,
bungee
from the
jump.
same place. Yeah.
Poor guy.
So it was probably the most eventful like 2 hours of my life.
That's
It had to be.
those
Maybe-
happened within 2 hours of each other.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's wild.
It was weird, but yeah, that was
That's
interesting.
exciting.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can't really bring that up in normal day-to-day
Right.
conversation.
We're talking about Africa, and you get to
And even then, I'm not going to tell people that because it's just like, it's a weird way to jump. Be like, dude, yeah, when I was over there, I had this encounter with a baboon. And I say an encounter, that makes it sound cooler, but it was more just like back and forth.
I think you would not be able to get me to stop talking about it. I chased what I thought at the time was a mythical bird through the Costa Rican jungle, and it ended up just being their version of a turkey. And I tell anyone who has ears, and that story is so much lamer than punching a baboon in the face. Like, so you're a better person than I am. So, mad respect.
Thank you. Even as I tell a story, I'm like, that's really not that cool of a story. But again, something I just have to, probably every 5 years, have to get off my chest.
You know, I try and live my life with like making the coolest 2 truths and a lie that I can.
Yeah, that's a great 2 truths and a lie.
That's 100%. Yeah.
You're right. That's a good one.
So
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you have any other cool 2 truth and a lie things that would rank? Let me tell you mine. I crashed a motorcycle in the middle of a drug deal in the middle of the jungle.
Did you know it was a drug deal?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you crashed your motorcycle?
Yeah, dude. I
That's
didn't mean
funny,
to.
man.
I was literally
That's a
just
very steep thing.
exploring the jungle, and
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
there's this nice it's like a Cadillac just parked in the riverbed, and a dude in a suit just sitting in the Cadillac waiting for someone, I don't know. And so I tried to turn around, but I couldn't turn around, so I tried to pass him. So I passed him, and then 100 yards after him, it was just a dead-end road, so then I had to turn around again and pass him again. And as I'm passing him, you have to drive through this little creek because that's what the road is, and it washed the tires out of my car. I'm literally 50 yards from this dude. No one within miles
Did
of
you
us.
see weapons?
I didn't. No.
But you just knew.
The dude's in a suit in the middle of the jungle in a
Yeah.
Cadillac parked at a
He's
riverbank.
probably like an accountant or something.
He probably
Doing a bank deal.
Just doing a bank deal. And I wipe out the bike, and water gets in the muffler. So I'm like trying to start it, and it's not starting.
Are you like,
and I'm like
you're awkwardly
panicking.
hurrying?
Dude? I'm like,
And this poor,
I can't
this poor
stress
accountant is just
how
watching.
in the middle of nowhere we are in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
deep
yeah.
jungle.
That's funny.
It was. I literally was like, I'm just gonna go explore that creek bed, and so I just drive down this creek bed. Guess what? Guess what Steve finds? So yeah. Anyway,
That's a really good story, dude. Is that the lie or the truth?
that's the lie. It never happened. I just contrived it.
Cool.
Now, my lie for a long time was I know all the words to the Canadian national anthem because it seems like it's weird enough that it would be like, who's going to make that up?
You're pretty into this.
I tell you, dude, I live every day of my life by this principle.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably do have other stories, but they're probably a little too weird and not enough time to get into.
That's
but
cool.
but hey, maybe another time.
I would love to hear that.